Embracing the journey of aging. 7 powerful lessons to transform how you see. Time, have you ever felt like time has stolen something from you? That the dreams you once held dear have been pushed aside as life moved on? Meet Sarah, a woman who spent years caring for others only to realize that she had neglected her own dreams. But everything changed with a simple phone call from an old friend. Her journey is a powerful reminder that it's never too late to reclaim what's been forgotten. Join us as we explore how embracing aging can unlock a future full of purpose and possibility. Part 1. Aging isn't a battle. It's an invitation to embrace. Life's natural flow, aging is often seen as a battle, one that we fight with everything we have in an attempt to preserve the past. It's the battle against time, against wrinkles, against the inevitable changes in our body that seem to remind us daily that we're no longer who we once were. But what if this battle is not truly with aging itself, but with the resistance to it? What if the real struggle is not against the passage of time, but against our own deep fear of change? We live in a world that constantly encourages us to fight against time, to preserve youth, to deny the natural rhythms of life. We're bombarded with messages telling us that aging is something to avoid, something that diminishes us, something to be feared. Yet what if the very essence of living fully lies in our ability to embrace change, to accept the passage of time as a natural part of the human experience? The Buddha taught us that suffering arises when we resist the natural flow of life. These truth of impermanence, the fact that everything is constantly changing, is not something to dread, but something to accept with open arms. Every moment that passes is part of a greater movement in life. The trees shed their leaves, the river flows forward, and we too move through stages of our existence. To resist this movement is to resist life itself. Aging is not a loss. It is an unfolding, a deepening. With each passing year, we are gifted with new perspectives, new insights, and an ever-growing capacity to appreciate the beauty that life brings in each moment. It's easy to be focused on what we lose as we age, the strength we once had, the physical appearance we once admired, the vigor and vitality that defined our younger years. But in doing so, we miss the incredible transformation that is happening right in front of us. Instead of seeing aging as a downward spiral, imagine it as a journey that leads us to greater wisdom, deeper connections, and a more profound understanding of who we are and what we've experienced. Every wrinkle, every grey hair, every change in our body tells a story of laughter, love, struggle, and triumph. These marks are not imperfections. They are signs of a life well lived. They reflect the richness of our experiences and the lessons we've learned along the way. When we shift our perspective, we begin to see aging not as something to fight, but as something to embrace. It is the natural continuation of our journey, and with it comes the opportunity to live more, fully than ever before. The passage of time does not take away our worth, rather, it adds to it. Our value is not found in our ability to hold on to the past, but in our willingness to step forward into the future with an open heart. Rather than clinging to the fleeting nature of youth, we can choose to embrace the wisdom that comes with age. We can find peace in knowing that we are not meant to remain the same, but to grow, evolve, and experience life in its full depth. Aging is not a battle, it is a privilege. It is an invitation to live more fully, to be more present, and to appreciate the beauty of each stage of life. Part 2. The impermanence of life. Why being forgotten is part of the journey as we grow older. One of the hardest truths to face is the realization that we will be forgotten. the world moves forward relentlessly, and the things we hold dear, the careers we built, the memories we cherished, the love we gave, will eventually fade from the collective memory. This can feel like a quiet sorrow, a pang of loss that we may not always want to acknowledge. Yet, within this truth lies a profound lesson. Being forgotten is not a sign of failure, but a natural part of the human experience. It is not something to mourn, but something to embrace with grace. The need to be remembered is deeply ingrained in us. We live in a society that places immense value on leaving a legacy, on making a mark that will endure long after we're gone. This drive pushes us to seek recognition, to chase immortality in some form, whether through our accomplishments, our names, or the stories we leave behind. But in truth, time doesn't pause for any of us. It moves forward with or without our consent, and eventually even the brightest stars will dim. People will move on, life will change, and the echoes of our existence will fade into the background. However, Buddhism teaches us that the desire to be remembered is rooted in an illusion, the illusion of permanence. The Buddha's teachings on anatta, the doctrine of no self, remind us that we are not fixed, unchanging entities. We are part of a larger flow, constantly evolving and merging with the world around us. Our efforts, our actions, and our presence in the lives of others are like ripples in a vast ocean, brief but meaningful. The truth is, we are never truly gone. Our lives, our kindness, our love, and our wisdom all remain in the hearts of those we've touched. We leave behind traces of ourselves in the way we made others feel, the moments we shared, and the connections we nurtured. These are the marks that last, not our name, but the impact we've had on the world. Think of it this way: a river does not hold on to the water that flows through it. The water that once passed is gone, but the river remains ever flowing and ever changing. The water may be gone, but its presence is felt in the way it nourishes the earth, in the life it supports. Likewise, we may not be remembered by every person we meet, but the effects of our actions ripple through time. The love we've given, the wisdom we've shared, the way we've shown up for others, they continue to shape the world in ways we may never fully understand. Rather than trying to carve our names into history, we can focus on living in a way that is fully present, fully alive in the moments we are given. The true legacy we leave behind is not one of recognition or remembrance, but one of kindness, generosity, and authenticity. Our presence matters not because we remain in people's memories, but because we make a difference while we are here. The real question is not whether we will be remembered, but whether we will live in a way that makes the time we have truly meaningful. It's not about seeking immortality, but about living fully in the fleeting moments we are given. In this way, we are never forgotten. We live on in every heart we touched, in every life we changed. Part 3. Befriending your body, embracing the transformation of aging as we grow older. One of the most profound shifts that we experience is the changing relationship we have with our bodies. The youthful vitality we once took for granted begins to wane. And with it comes the inevitable realization that the body we've relied on for so long no longer works the way it used to. It's easy to feel betrayed, to mourn the loss of strength, agility, and resilience. But what if, instead of seeing this shift as a betrayal, we viewed it as an invitation to deepen our connection with our own bodies, to truly appreciate what they have done for us over the years? The body is not our enemy. In fact, it has been our most faithful companion through every moment of our lives. It has carried us through countless experiences, from childhood adventures to adult responsibilities. It has endured pain, recovered from injury, and weathered stress. Yet, as we age, we find that it no longer responds to us in the same way. The knees that once sprinted without hesitation now creak with each step. The back that carried heavy loads now protests with every bend. This is not a betrayal. This is simply nature at work. Aging, after all, is not a process of decay, it is a transformation. The changes that happen in our bodies are not signs of failure, but rather symbols of the journeys we've taken, the lives we've lived. Just like a tree loses its leaves in autumn, our bodies too undergo their own seasons. The question is not whether we can stop the inevitable, but how we can learn to adapt and find new ways to care for our bodies in their changing form. Instead of focusing on what we've lost, we can begin to focus on what remains and how we can treat our bodies with the same respect and love that we did when we were young. The changes may not be easy to accept, but there is profound wisdom in the practice of acceptance. The body, though it may slow down, is still capable of incredible things. It is still able to love, to heal, to create, and to carry us through our daily lives. What it asks for in return is not frustration or resentment, but gentle care and appreciation. There is a beauty in the aging body, a wisdom that it carries that is unavailable to the young. Each wrinkle, each grey hair, each change in its shape tells a story. It is the story of resilience, of endurance, of every lesson learned along the way. These changes are not to be feared, they are to be celebrated. The aging body is a living testament to the life that has been lived. It deserves to be treated with the utmost respect, not as something that is failing, but as something that has served us faithfully. To truly befriend our aging bodies is to let go of the need to fight, the natural process of aging. Instead, we can embrace it with grace, caring for our bodies as they are now, not as they once were. It means moving gently, eating nourishing food, resting when needed, and acknowledging the wisdom our bodies have accumulated over time. Aging is not a betrayal, it is a celebration of the many lives our bodies have lived. And with that comes an opportunity to treat our bodies with gratitude and compassion, honoring them for all they have done. Part 4. The beauty of letting go, accepting the impermanence of relationships. As we journey through life, one of the most poignant realities we face is the inevitable ebb and flow of relationships. In our younger years, friendships and connections may seem abundant and everlasting, but as time moves forward, we begin to notice that some of these bonds fade away, sometimes without warning. The people who once walked beside us through every phase of life, friends, family, partners, begin to drift. This natural shift can stir up feelings of loss, confusion, and even resentment. But what if we could learn to view this change not as abandonment, but as part of the beautiful, impermanent nature of life itself? In the Buddhist teachings of impermanence, everything, including relationships, exists in a constant state of flux. People come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and often we cannot control when or how they leave. At first, this may seem like a cruel reality. How can the people we care for so deeply simply disappear from our lives? But there is wisdom in the understanding that relationships, like all things, are meant to evolve. The love and connection we share with others do not disappear with time or distance. They transform. Letting go of the expectation that every relationship must last forever opens us up to a deeper, more peaceful way of living. We stop clinging to what was and begin to appreciate what remains. The people who have touched our lives, even briefly, have left their mark on us in ways we might never fully understand. Their presence, no matter how fleeting, shaped us, taught us, and helped us grow into who we are today. And even if they are no longer physically present, their influence lives on within us, woven into the fabric of our being. Rather than mourning the loss of these connections, we can choose to celebrate the time we had with those who are no longer in our lives. Every friendship, every family member, every acquaintance has brought something valuable into our world. Even if the relationship has faded, the love and lessons we shared continue to influence our journey. This understanding can bring a sense of peace, knowing that while these relationships may no longer exist in their previous form, they have played a significant role in shaping the person we are becoming. As we grow older, new relationships may emerge, just as the seasons bring new growth. We cannot force connections, nor can we cling to the past, but we can remain open to the beauty of the relationships still present in our lives. These connections, whether they are deep and enduring or light and fleeting, are all part of the dance of life. The key is not to hold on to the people who have left, but to cherish and nurture the ones who remain, while keeping our hearts open for new bonds that may arise. Through this lens, aging becomes not a process of losing people, but a celebration of the relationships we've had and a recognition of the connections yet to come. It teaches us to accept that nothing, including our relationships, is permanent. And in that acceptance, we find freedom. Freedom to love more deeply, to be present in each moment, and to appreciate the relationships that shape and enrich our lives, no matter how long they last. Part 5. Redefining beauty. Why aging doesn't diminish your radiance. There comes a moment in life when we look in the mirror and realize that we no longer look the way we once did. Our skin is softer, our hair is tinged with grey, and the youthful energy that once defined us is no longer the same. In a society that prizes youth, it can feel like a loss. We're taught to chase after the beauty of our younger years, to fight against the signs of aging, to hide the evidence of time's passing. But what if aging wasn't something to fear or regret? What if it was an opportunity to redefine beauty in a deeper, more meaningful way? True beauty has never been about flawless skin or youthful appearance. The superficial markers of beauty, the smooth skin, the thick hair, the bright eyes, are temporary, fragile, and fleeting. The real beauty lies in something far more profound. As we age, we gain the ability to see beauty through a different lens, one shaped by experience, wisdom, and love. The lines that begin to form on our faces are not just wrinkles, they are maps of our journey. Each one tells a story. The laughter we shared, the tears we shed, the lessons learned, and the moments that have shaped us. These marks of time are not imperfections. They are the evidence of a life lived fully. As we grow older, beauty becomes less about appearance and more about presence. It is found in the way we carry ourselves, in the way we listen with empathy, in the way we share kindness without hesitation. Aging brings a quiet confidence, a self-assurance that can only come from having lived through both the highs and the lows of life. This is the beauty that does not fade with time. It deepens with every experience, every challenge, and every lesson learned. The transformation of beauty with age is not just physical, but emotional and spiritual. With age comes the gift of understanding. We begin to see beyond the surface, appreciating the richness of human connection, the depth of shared experiences, and the quiet wisdom that comes from growing older. We understand that beauty is not something to be chased or preserved, it is something to be embraced and celebrated. It's found in the way we love, in the way we approach life with compassion and grace, and in the way we accept ourselves and others for who we truly are. The changes in our bodies are a reflection of the lives we've lived. The grey hairs are not a sign of fading beauty, but a testament to the many years we've spent in the world, experiencing its joys and its sorrows. The lines on our face are not flaws, they are the beautiful traces of a life well lived. With each passing year, we are given the chance to step into our true selves, shedding the expectations of external beauty and embracing the beauty that radiates from within. Aging is not something to be feared or fought against. It is a privilege. It's an invitation to embrace a new kind of beauty, one that comes not from the surface, but from the heart. The longer we live, the more we understand that beauty is not about staying young forever. It's about embracing the fullness of life, accepting its impermanence, and finding joy in the ever-changing expression of ourselves. So the next time you look in the mirror, instead of longing for your youthful appearance, take a moment to appreciate the beauty that you have become, one that is deep, enduring, and uniquely yours. Part 6. Love Never Dies. How the people we've lost live on in us as we age. The inevitability of loss becomes more pronounced. We begin to witness the passing of those we love, parents, friends, siblings, even children. There is no preparation for the weight of grief that follows. No one can truly prepare you for the absence that comes with the death of a loved one. The pain is sharp, visceral, and often overwhelming. It can feel like the world has shifted on its axis, leaving you off balance, unsure of where to turn. And yet, in the midst of this heartbreaking truth, there is a profound realization. Love never dies. When we lose someone, we often feel as though we've lost a piece of ourselves, as though the person's absence creates a void that can never be filled. But love, in its purest form, is not confined to physical presence. It lives on in the memories, in the lessons they imparted, and in the ways they shaped our lives. The love we shared with them doesn't disappear. It continues to resonate within us, shaping who we are, how we love, and how we live our lives. Moving forward, this realization brings a shift in how we perceive grief. Rather than seeing loss as the end, we can begin to view it as a continuation of love's presence in our lives. The love we once shared, the bond we formed, cannot be erased by death. It becomes a part of our journey, a thread that connects us to those we've lost, woven into the fabric of who we are. Every time we think of them, share their stories, or pass on their wisdom, they live on through us. In this way, death is not the final chapter. It is simply a new form of presence. Grief is still real. The pain of losing someone will always be felt, but as we grow older, we begin to understand that grief is not something to get over. Instead, it is something we learn to live with. The emptiness left by a loved one may never fully disappear, but over time, it transforms. We learn to carry it, to honor it, and to keep it in our hearts as a testament to the love that once was. We can continue to live, to grow, and to embrace the future, all while holding the memory of those who came before us. In Buddhism, there is a teaching that emphasizes the impermanence of life. Everything, joy, pain, people, and even relationships, is constantly changing. And while this may seem like a harsh truth, it offers us freedom. It teaches us to love without attachment, to cherish the moments we have with others without the fear of losing them. This doesn't mean we love less deeply or avoid forming connections, but rather it encourages us to love fully, deeply, and without reservation, knowing that even when people leave, the love we shared remains. It is this understanding that allows us to keep moving forward after loss, to continue loving, and to embrace the joy that life still has to offer. When you think of those you've lost, do you not still feel their presence in the way you live your life? Their influence is woven into your choices, your values, and the way you show love to others. The people you've loved are never truly gone. They live in you in the ways you carry their memory forward, in every act of kindness, in every story shared, and in every lesson passed down. This is how love transcends time and space. It doesn't vanish, it transforms and endures. And so, Even in the face of loss, we find the strength to love again, to live again, and to honor those who have shaped us. Part 7. Embracing aging, living fully with grace and gratitude. Aging is often seen as something to be feared, a slow march toward the end of our story. In a culture that prizes youth, we are conditioned to view growing older as a kind of loss of beauty, vitality, and potential. But this perspective is not only limiting, it is fundamentally flawed. Aging is not the end of the story. It is the next chapter, and it is one that holds its own beauty, wisdom, and purpose. As we age, we are given the opportunity to experience life in a deeper, more meaningful way. When we stop focusing on what we are losing and start appreciating what we are gaining, a profound shift happens. Aging teaches us to let go of the superficial concerns that once consumed us. We no longer measure ourselves by the fleeting standards of external appearance or accomplishments. Instead, we begin to value the richness of our inner lives. We cultivate patience, wisdom, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. Aging allows us to refine ourselves, not just in terms of our knowledge or skills, but in the way we approach life itself. With each year, we shed the layers of who we thought we were and step into a more authentic version of ourselves, free from the pressures of societal expectations. As we grow older, we come to understand that beauty does not lie in perfection, nor is it confined to youth. The beauty of aging is found in the stories etched on our faces, the quiet strength in our hands, and the grace with which we navigate the world. The lines on our faces are not signs of decline, but marks of a life fully lived. They are a reflection of the laughter, the heartache, the moments of growth and transformation that we have experienced. These lines represent the depth of our journey, not its end. Aging also brings us closer to the essence of what it means to be human. We begin to appreciate the fleeting nature of life, understanding that each moment is precious. This awareness allows us to live with a greater sense of gratitude and presence. We stop worrying so much about the past and future and learn to be more fully engaged in the here and now. This is the gift of aging, the ability to savor life's simplest moments and find joy in the present. It is the wisdom of knowing that we do not need to chase after time, but can instead live deeply within it. In embracing aging, we also embrace the inevitable changes that come with it. Rather than fighting against the natural course of life, we begin to flow with it. We learn to let go of the fear of death and instead focus on the richness of life. Each wrinkle, each grey hair, each change in our body tells a story of survival, of growth, of love, and of wisdom. The fear of aging dissipates when we learn to see these changes as a natural, beautiful part of the human experience. Aging is not the end. It is a beginning that offers us the chance to live more fully, to appreciate life's beauty, and to pass on the wisdom we've gained. It is a gift not to be feared, but to be embraced. So as we grow older, let us not mourn the passing of time, but celebrate it. Let us live each day with grace, gratitude, and the wisdom that comes from knowing that the best chapters of our lives are not behind us, but still unfolding. Sarah's journey through the ups and downs of aging, loss, and rediscovery has brought her to a profound realization. For years, she had focused on caring for others, chasing after the expectations placed upon her, and neglecting her own dreams and passions. It wasn't until a chance conversation with an old friend, Alex, that Sarah truly began to reflect on the life she had built and the one she had forgotten to live. The letters of her past, filled with unfulfilled aspirations, became the catalyst for Sarah's personal transformation. She understood that aging doesn't mean fading away, but instead an opportunity to reclaim what was once set aside. She found the courage to embrace her years, live fully, and pursue the dreams that had long been buried. The lesson Sarah's story offers is clear. Don't let the passage of time make you feel as if you're running out of chances. Aging is not a loss, but a transformation, a chance to shed old fears and live with purpose. Today, ask yourself, what dreams have you put aside? It's never too late to chase them. Embrace your age, cherish every moment, and take action toward the life you've always wanted. If Sarah's journey resonated with you, be sure to subscribe to our channel and support us in bringing more inspiring content your way. Your encouragement keeps us going.